Everyone thinks wealth is loud. It's the car that growls at traffic lights, the vacation photos that scream, "I made it," the watch that sparkles louder than the person wearing it. But real wealth, it whispers. And the strange part, if you're building it the right way, you probably don't even feel rich yet. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Mano Invest for practical strategies that help you build real financial freedom, not just the illusion of it. Today, I'm going to walk you through 8 quiet signs you're getting rich, even if your bank account doesn't look flashy and your lifestyle hasn't changed much. Because wealth is rarely a fireworks show. It's more like planting trees. Slow, intentional, powerful. Let's get into it. 1. Your income is higher than your lifestyle. If you make good money but still don't feel rich, this might be why. Most people think wealth shows up as upgrades, bigger apartment, new car, better everything. But here's the twist. One of the strongest signs you're building real wealth is this: your income is higher than your lifestyle. Not because you're cheap, not because you're struggling, but because you don't feel the need to impress anyone. You earn more and your life doesn't inflate with it. That gap between what you make and what you spend, that's not extra, that's leverage. It's the difference between surviving and having options. When your paycheck goes up but your expenses stay stable, you create margin, and margin is where wealth begins. Margin means you can invest consistently. You can handle emergencies without panic. You can say no to things that don't align with your goals. Most people increase spending every time income increases. It feels natural. You work harder, so you reward yourself. The problem is, lifestyle creep quietly traps you at the same financial level, just with nicer stuff. But if your standard of living rises slower than your income, you're doing something powerful. You're buying assets instead of appearances. And here's the interesting part. It doesn't feel dramatic. It feels normal, almost boring. But over 5, 10, 15 years, that quiet gap can turn into investments, equity, and freedom. So ask yourself this: if your income went up 20% tomorrow, would your lifestyle go up 20% too? Or would your future get the raise instead? 2. You think in decades, not weekends. If your investments don't feel exciting anymore, that's actually a good sign. Most people invest like they scroll social media, fast, reactive, chasing whatever's trending this week, a hot stock, a crypto spike, the next can't-miss opportunity. But real wealth rarely comes from weekends. It comes from decades. Here's the shift. You stop asking, what will double this month, and start asking, what will grow steadily for 20 years? That's compounding. When you invest consistently over time, your money earns returns, and then those returns start earning returns. It's not flashy, it's mathematical, and it's powerful. You don't panic when the market drops 10%. You don't feel like a genius when it jumps 15%. You stay steady because you understand something most people don't. Volatility is normal. Emotional reactions are expensive. Builders focus on contribution and time in the market. Gamblers focus on timing the market. One strategy relies on discipline, the other relies on luck. And here's the part nobody talks about. Thinking in decades changes more than your portfolio. It changes your behavior. You spend differently. You plan differently. You make decisions based on where you want to be at 50, not next Friday. So ask yourself this: are your financial decisions built for the next headline or the next 20 years? Because that answer quietly determines everything. 3. You have a cushion and you sleep well. If losing your job tomorrow wouldn't destroy you, you're richer than you think. Here's a sign nobody posts about. There's money sitting in your account that you don't need right now. Not for rent, not for groceries, not for this month's bills. It's just there. That's called a financial cushion, an emergency fund, cash reserves. Simple concept, powerful impact. And this is where things change. When your car breaks down, it's annoying, not catastrophic. When a medical bill shows up, it's a problem to solve, not a spiral. When your company talks about layoffs, you feel concern, but not panic. That buffer buys you time, and time gives you control. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Every unexpected expense goes on a credit card. Stress becomes normal. Decisions become reactive. But when you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, you operate differently. You negotiate differently. You even walk differently because you're not desperate. And here's the quiet part. You don't brag about it. No one sees your savings account. There's no social media flex for, "I can survive 6 months without income." But that peace of mind, that energy of just being okay, that's one of the earliest returns wealth gives you. So here's the question. If your income stopped today, how long would your lifestyle last? The answer tells you more about your financial position than your salary ever will. 4. Raises don't automatically upgrade your life. You just got a raise. Now here's the real question. Did your lifestyle get one too? Most people celebrate a pay increase the same way. Bigger apartment, new car, better everything. It feels earned, it feels logical. But that's where wealth quietly disappears. There's a term for it, lifestyle creep. As income rises, spending rises to match. The paycheck grows, but the bank balance doesn't. Now flip the script. You get a raise and your first thought isn't, "What can I upgrade?" It's, "What can I invest?" Your rent stays reasonable. Your car still works. Your habits don't suddenly inflate. That gap between your higher income and your stable lifestyle, that's where net worth is built. If your income increases 15%, but your spending only rises 3%, the difference can go towards investments, debt payoff, or assets that grow over time. And here's the part most people miss. Small increases invested consistently can compound into serious money over a decade. It doesn't feel dramatic. There's no visible change, no applause. But discipline compounds faster than hype. Every promotion becomes fuel for your future instead of decoration for your present. So the next time your income goes up, pause before upgrading your life, because the real flex isn't what changed. It's what didn't. 5. Comparison doesn't control you anymore. If someone else's success used to stress you out, and now it doesn't, that's growth. A friend buys a luxury car. A coworker posts a first-class flight. Your feed is filled with upgrades. And instead of thinking, "I'm falling behind," you think, "Nothing." That shift is powerful, because visible wealth isn't always real wealth. Sometimes it's financed, sometimes it's leased, sometimes it's held together by monthly payments and quiet anxiety. But social media doesn't show the interest rate. Here's what changes when comparison stops controlling you. You stop making emotional purchases. You stop upgrading just to keep up. You stop measuring progress by appearances. And you start making decisions based on your goals. That's clarity. Clarity means you understand your income, your expenses, your long-term plan. You know what you're building and why, so someone else's timeline doesn't shake you. Most financial mistakes happen in moments of comparison. You see someone ahead and react. New car, bigger apartment, risky investment, all to match a lifestyle that may not even be sustainable. But when you're neutral, you're in control. You're not trying to look wealthy. You're trying to become wealthy. And those are very different paths. So next time you see someone level up, pay attention to your reaction. Does it trigger you, or does it leave you steady? Because that quiet emotional discipline might be doing more for your net worth than any stock pick ever could have. 6. Money isn't constantly on your mind anymore. If you're not constantly thinking about money anymore, that's a bigger win than you realize. Remember when every purchase required a quick calculation? If I spend this, can I still cover rent? Will this mess up my account? That's survival mode. Now imagine this instead. Your savings transfer automatically every month. Your investments go in on schedule. Your bills are planned before they're due. No scrambling, no guessing, no daily stress. That's systems. and systems change everything. When your finances are automated, you remove emotion from the process. You don't rely on willpower to save. You don't wait for the perfect time to invest. The money moves first. You adjust around it. That consistency builds real progress over time. But here's the hidden benefit. Money stops being the main character in your life. You're not obsessing over every discount. You're not checking your account 5 times a day. Your financial life runs quietly in the background, like good Wi-Fi. You only notice it when it breaks. That mental space is powerful, because when money isn't consuming your thoughts, you can focus on bigger things: skills, relationships, opportunities. Most people think wealth is about a number. Often, it's about not feeling financial pressure every single day. So ask yourself this: are you still managing money manually, or have you built a system that manages it for you? That shift might be the line between stress and stability. 7. You value time more than appearances. If you started saying no more often, you might be getting wealthier. Not because your income exploded, but because your priorities shifted. There comes a point where you stop chasing appearances and start protecting your time. You'll pay for convenience if it buys hours back. You outsource small tasks instead of guarding every dollar. You decline meetings, events, or side hustles that drain your energy. That's not laziness, that's leverage. Early on, we trade time for money. That's normal. You work more hours to increase income. But as your finances stabilize, the equation changes. You realize time is the scarcer asset. Money can be invested and multiplied. Time only moves in one direction. So instead of asking, "How much does this cost?" you start asking, "How much of my life does this take?" That question upgrades everything. It changes how you schedule your week. It changes what opportunities you accept. It even changes what success looks like. Busy stops feeling impressive. Flexible starts feeling powerful. And here's the subtle part. When you value time more than appearances, you make long-term decisions. You focus on sustainability. You avoid burnout. You build a life you actually want to live, not just one that looks good online. So think about this. Are your financial goals designed to buy more stuff or to buy more control over your time? Because that answer quietly determines what kind of wealth you're really building. 8. You take ownership of your financial reality. If you've stopped saying, "I can't afford it," and started saying, "That's not a priority," your mindset just leveled up. That small language shift changes everything. "I can't afford it" sounds powerless. It blames income, prices, the economy. But "it's not a priority" puts you back in control. Wealth starts with ownership. Instead of waiting for a higher salary, lower rent, or perfect market conditions, you focus on what you can control right now: your spending, your saving rate, your skills, your habits. You adjust, you optimize, you build with what you have. That doesn't mean ignoring real challenges. It means refusing to let them become permanent excuses. 2 people can earn the same income in the same city. One says it's impossible to save. The other finds room by cutting one expense, negotiating another, increasing income on the side, or investing consistently, even if it's small. The difference isn't luck, it's ownership. And ownership creates strategy. When you take responsibility for your financial direction, every decision becomes intentional. You stop reacting, you start planning. You move from surviving month to month to building year over year. Here's the truth most people avoid. You don't need perfect conditions to start building wealth. You need consistent action. So listen to how you talk about money this week. Are you giving away control or taking it back? Because that quiet mindset shift might be the moment your financial future actually changes. If you see even 1 or 2 of these signs in your life, you're further ahead than you think. Wealth rarely feels dramatic while you're building it. It feels ordinary. It feels patient. It feels disciplined. But one day you look up, and the quiet work has changed everything. If this video helped you see your progress more clearly, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs motivation, and subscribe to Mano Invest for more content that helps you build lasting financial freedom. Keep building, keep investing, keep thinking long-term, because if it doesn't feel like you're getting rich yet, you probably are, just quietly.